Great Scott. Great Scott. Great Scott.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Great Scott. I'm Scotty B. Thanks for watching. What I wanted to talk about now is my actual reaction to the teaser trailer itself. Something happened that really irked Batman, and he doesn't trust Superman, and now they're going to fight. And of course fans want to see him fighting. And I've heard people saying, this is all Zack Snyder knows how to do, it's all glitz with him, there's no story, there's no soul. I thought there was a lot of soul with Man of Steel. And because we've only seen 2 minutes and 14 seconds of a tease, now normal length trailers are only about 3 or a little more than 3 minutes, so we're not going to see that much more. We did get to see a little bit more footage at the IMAX event, I'll talk about that later. We don't really know why they're fighting each other, we don't really know what's going on, but it looks like something happened that really irked Batman. It's not just that he's dangerous. You wouldn't go and try to fight someone who fought off a Kryptonian army simply because you thought maybe he was going to turn on us someday. But it looks bad, and Batman, to me, comes off as bad in this. I've heard other people say the other thing. I don't know if it's just Batman fans or if it's other people who have seen it. I've heard people say that Superman looks like the bad guy because they're putting him across as someone who wants to be worshipped, someone who's being kneeled to. I think it's clear that in the scenes that we see him, he's not comfortable with being worshipped. He's not looking for that. But then there are scenes where people are reaching out to him, and he's shown in a great light. Now, at the end, we get Batman saying, do you bleed? You will. If that's Batman, I'm thinking it's possible that it could be the voice of another villain, the actual villain that's in this, aside from Lex Luthor, or maybe there's a dangerous physical villain somewhere. Or maybe it is Batman, and maybe something happened. You know, there's been speculation that Gordon died in the Metropolis destruction. We don't know. But if something like that happened, I could see that angering him, or Robin, something like that. Wouldn't be Superman's fault, but if you're in an emotional state, which Batman normally isn't, he's kind of cold and calculating. But he could, you know, someone really close to him, I could see him losing it a little bit. And that would make a little more sense. But they are both heroes, and they are both friends, and they do become the greatest allies ever. And this is called Dawn of Justice, so I think we're going to see them come together, and I think it's going to make sense. The fear from Superman fans, of course, is that Superman's going to look bad in this, not just for being the villain of the piece, which is also possible. Maybe they're going an injustice route. Maybe they're saying, well, we've already seen the hero Superman. Let's do something different, where Batman used to be a hero and has to come back now because Superman is a rogue person who's doing bad things in the name of justice, which happens in Injustice when he kills the Joker, and things kind of spiral downhill from there. But I don't believe that's what they're going to do, but it could be. And watching this teaser, you could see it going in that direction, even though I'm saying it certainly looks like Superman is the hero and the light in this piece. They run at each other in the extra footage. It hasn't been released, and Zack Snyder has said it's not going to be released. It's, to my estimation, it's about 1 second of extra footage. It's a little more than that. But right after the end of the teaser that everyone has seen, the symbol comes up, and then it goes back to them, and they run at each other as if they're going to smash into each other. And right at the moment when they're about to smash into each other, it cuts. If Superman wasn't depowered in this moment, Batman would just be obliterated. He'd be a bloodstain on the ground. So, my guess is, in the scene where Superman is holding up the missile, the explosion has already gone off, the ash is going to go into the sky, it's going to blot out the sun. He's going to be so busy dealing with the aftermath of that, saving people, expending all his energies, that his solar batteries, something that the general public hasn't yet been informed of, we're going to see that in this movie, that's what I'm thinking, are going to get drained because he can't have access to the sun. Now, in a normal day-night situation, just fly around the other side of the world, which Superman could do, get the sun, or fly out into space, get the sun. But if he's so busy, if he's so beset upon by things he has to do right now, because he can't let it wait, he might not have time to go recharge. And if everything's hitting him all at once, and it's right on top of another, whether it's Lex Luthor setting him up, whether it's Batman making him weak on purpose, I'm thinking Batman watching, seeing he's getting weaker. Now he's on top of a building with a sniper rifle, and maybe it's kryptonite. I don't know. Zack Snyder has said we're not using kryptonite in this universe. Maybe it's just a really high-powered rifle, and he's going to shoot him with it after he's already been weakened, and he estimates that a really high-powered rifle with a big bullet in it will hurt him at his weakened state, which is very possible if Superman has extended all of his solar batteries. We don't know how that works in this universe. We haven't seen it, but it's been in the comics. There have been different variations of how it works. Sometimes he has a shield that envelops his whole body that you can't see. Sometimes the skin is just really strong. But if he gets weakened and he gets closer to what a human would be, that would be the only way that the two of them could face off on equal ground, even with Batman in a suit. Kryptonite, which they said they're not going to use. But it's not instant. Kryptonite doesn't go bang! Oh, he has no power. Although they did it that way in the old Superman movie, so that's the way a lot of the general viewing public views it. But Kryptonite takes some time. So it could be Kryptonite with the ash, with the sun being blotted out, with lots of expenditure of superpowered energy, that finally Batman says, okay, now's the time. I gotta get in there and see what this guy's about. And maybe Batman is setting him up to see what he will do to a heroic individual when he's pressed to it. Will Superman go the distance? Will Superman finish him off? Is he really dangerous? Although Batman's killing people on the street, so I don't know that killing people is necessarily the line that Batman thinks he shouldn't cross. But we'll see what happens. Those are my thoughts on the trailer right now. I got more to say later, but gotta end for this week. Thanks everybody for watching, and remember, no matter how dark it gets, no matter how much rain there is, no matter how much nuclear ash blots out the sun, always look up in the sky.
I was quiet.
You were quiet. I saw you there. You were quiet. Thank you. I keep going to the river to pray. I keep going to the river all day, and I know